Jay, what's going on?
Oh, not much, man. I was just literally watching a Ninja Turtle DVD I bought today. So doing nothing.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Which season is it?
I don't know if it was a season. It was like a series 3 or collection 3 or something like that. I don't exactly know how they did those.
Oh, right. Yeah, they just kind of put out volumes.
Season. That's it, volume. That's the word they use.
Right. Yeah, I've seen your game room before. It's impressive, man. You got a nice collection.
Hey, yeah, I appreciate it. I fit all that crap in the closet.
That's awesome, though. Yeah, I remember that from the Pixel Game Squad episode where they come in and check out your collection there.
It's a ton of fun, man. And flew over here from the Southeast Game Exchange, as well as the Indians Complex, and Russ Lyman and a bunch of other guys that I'm good friends with. We had a blast, man. That was great.
Now, Jay, tell us when you started your channel. How long ago did you start your YouTube channel?
I think it was about. I think I'm coming up on 5 years in October, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a while.
What was your initial plan when you started this channel? Like, what were you looking to do specifically, and how has that kind of changed over time?
So my initial thought was I just wanted to be a part of the community. I was so into YouTube and watching other people, and especially like, you know, I think everybody loves Game Chasers and like Retro Liberty and those kind of channels. And I just started finding stuff because obviously I was looking for it for a while. And I was like, I could do this. I could show off some cool stuff. Now, granted, not everything skills were nowhere near Billy's, but I kind of started out like that. I kind of developed my own style. But it kind of shifted after that, more to like, I don't know, I just wanted to do something that was a little bit better edited, and I don't know, I just wanted to challenge myself a little bit. I don't know that I ever reached that point, but that was the intent initially, eventually.
And I'm looking at those collector's items that Nintendo put out. I remember having one or two of those as a kid. Now, what did they even call those? Like, they kind of have the statues on them. You kind of snap them together, almost like Lego pieces in the back. What did they call those?
I think they were called Nintendo trophy figures, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
They were made by Hasbro, I'm pretty sure. If I remember that video correctly.
Those, I remember even seeing, I think they had like a Super Mario like shampoo. I think it might have been in Europe. They had all kinds of weird stuff. You know, they had those Super Mario. One was a plush, one was kind of plastic vinyl. They had like a Super Mario bank. I have one of the banks, like made out of PVC vinyl, all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome.
I wish they still would do more stuff like that today, you know?
I honestly think they do. I just think it's just not as weird. And maybe because we're not kids anymore, maybe we don't notice it. But I think they do actually make a lot of weird Nintendo stuff. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did like more random stuff. Like the weirdest thing I have, which I've yet to make a video on. At some point, I'm going to get around to it. But there's like this shower head attachment, and it's like so kids can like take a bath with this little Super Mario Luigi shower head. It's pretty wild.
Wow. I think, you know what? I think I remember Gabo. Gabo might have picked that up.
Yeah, I missed that if you did.
Those Game Squad videos. I'm not positive, but I think so.
But yeah, so eventually, like, I was trying to like find something to separate myself from the YouTube world, and so I kind of like really got into that stuff and decided on that, and just kind of showcasing those, which I've dubbed the term Nintendo oddities.
You know what's an oddity I'm dying for, Jay? It's that exclusive European Turtles NES console box. You know the one I'm talking about? Like the turtles on it? I never see that anymore.
That thing's awesome.
Do you have that?
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I don't collect anything outside of the North American release stuff. Because I guess like there's no nostalgic tie to it, even though it is really cool. You know, I didn't live in Europe growing up, so I never saw it as a kid.
Right. Now, so do you stream it all? What other kind of videos do you do besides like your pickups and like the Nintendo oddities? Give us like an overview of kind of what to expect when we go to your channel.
So I've been streaming more lately. I usually do it on Thursday nights. I typically don't have to work Friday morning, so it's a good night for me to like stay up late and hang out. And usually takes my kids a while to get to sleep, so that buys me some time. But I mean, other than streaming, the oddities are the real big thing. And I have been inspired to not try to be so professional and maybe just make more videos about whatever. I think I tried to be a little too hyper focused there for a while on just like I was trying to go with the model of quality over quantity. But it was like my videos were so sporadic. I think people were kind of forgetting that I was around. At least that's the way it felt to me. So you know, I think I was trying too hard to like set myself apart and be bigger than maybe I'm capable of becoming. And I just decided, you know, let's just have fun with it. Obviously, I have a real job. This isn't going to be a career. So now I'm just kind of putting out whatever I want. But that's just within, like, the last 2 months.
And I like that you want to be unique as a channel because, you know, that's part of what we're trying to do. We want to give our main focus to be spotlighting other channels. Because, you know, the more channels we interact with, the more we can get to, you know, combine up with other ones. It's like something's going to grow there. And, like, even for me, like, when I stream, I try to do weird stuff. Like, I'll do old toy commercials as commercial breaks. I'll put in old skate videos. Just stuff to kind of set apart from the masses, you know? So I like that you think that way. I like that you want to give it your own spin.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to. I mean, like, I feel like everybody and their brother has a YouTube channel now, and you can really get lost in the mix if you don't set yourself apart. And, you know, I think a lot of people do pick up videos. I mean, I haven't released one lately, but I got a package in the mail from a buddy the other day, and I'm going to show that off. I was very inspired by Michael B. the Game Genie. He used to have a complete NES Chronicles video. And so I kind of borrowed that, and I made a show called Awesomeness. It was like awesomeness, but like with emphasis on the NES. And but the problem is I haven't picked up anything in a while, so it was just Nintendo games, like just to watch my collection of NES games grow, since that's mainly what I focus on, other than the oddities themselves.
Yeah, Michael B is great. I've talked to him. We have almost the same collection of arcade one-ups. He's been showing pictures on he's got a whole room now, just his one-up arcades, but I have the same ones. I picked up the same ones he got. And I remember... Sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah. I actually recently I picked up my first arcade one-up this past month because the news was spreading about some of the cabinets being $50. And growing up, I was into the Final Fight cabinet. I played it at this water park I used to go to in Surfside Beach, South Carolina, when I would visit my grandparents, but they had Final Fight there. So I got the Final Fight cap for $50. So that's the only one I have, though.
Oh, nice. Same here. Yeah, my Walmart had 7 of them somehow. So, and I'm at
3, and I was going to buy the other 2 for some friends, but they were like, no, we can only buy one at a time. So I didn't get to help anybody out, unfortunately.
Right. And he has some really cool Halloween specials, Michael B., that he does.
Yeah, he has that, what is that music he always uses? That Halloween 3 or something?
Yeah, that's the one. The Happy Happy Halloween song.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's somewhere out there. I know that he's always talking about that it's hard for him to import stuff from where he lives.
Yeah, he's in Newfoundland, Canada. So
right.
Ireland. Yeah.
Now, you're obviously close to the Pixel Game Squad guys. It's somewhere in California, though.
So I don't live in California. I actually live in South Carolina.
Oh, okay. My fault.
So with Aaron, that's okay. Aaron flew over here, he was invited to the convention that's actually in the city I live in, and so he came over here, and that's how I got to hang out with him. But you know, we're talking here and there, a couple times a week or a month, whatever.
And I can tell, Jay, I can already tell that we're one and the same by looking at your collection. I can tell the condition means a lot to you because everything is looking like it came right off the store shelf and on that wall, man. I'm telling you. Even down to that lunchbox, that Super Mario. I can tell condition matters a lot to you.
Yeah, I try to find it in good condition. Sometimes I have to settle a little bit because of price and trying to keep the wife happy, because she doesn't super love the hobby.
Right.
But it's a combination of can I find it for a good price and obviously, find it in the best condition I can.
Now, Jay, let's go back now.
Thanks for noticing.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's first thing. It's one of the first things I saw. Just the condition is great on everything. Now let's take a step back in the time machine. Now we're jumping in the DeLorean. We're going back to your childhood. Okay. I want to know what were the childhood systems that you grew up with. Like when you're 5, 6 years old. Did you have an NES? Did you get that Super Nintendo, or did you choose a Genesis? What was your growing up systems?
So my very first system that I ever got was a hand-me-down Atari 2600. And we lived in North Carolina for a few years when my dad was in the seminary. And it was probably like 84 to probably like 88. It was like probably about 4 years. So I was probably about 85 or 86 when I got that. And I have a very specific memory of my mom taking me to like a dollar store. And she was like, "Oh, hey, Jay, these Atari games are like 50 cents. You want to get one?" And the first game I ever bought or had asked for was E.T. on Atari. And I remember going home and playing that and falling in the hole and being, even as a young child, I remember thinking, this is BS. After that, I got the NES Christmas of '89 after begging for it, and then I sold it 2 years later to help pay for the Super Nintendo, which I regret because we sold it in like October or November because I was dying to get the Super Nintendo. And had I just waited till Christmas, I probably would have got it then and could have kept my Nintendo. So that's a bummer.
That's what you hear time and time again, Jay. Like, you hear that all the time. We never damn money as a kid, and we always had to one-up the next console with losing our last console. It's sad in a way, It's the only way we could get the next one, old one.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only way to do it, right? I didn't know how to make money as an 11-year-old, so I was like, I guess I wasn't. Yeah, I was probably 11. So I was like, I'll sell my Nintendo. It's 8-bit. This one's 16-bit. That's twice as many bits. Let's sell it. Get rid of it. This is crap.
Now, did you have any interest?
Go ahead.
Did you have any interest in a Genesis at that time?
Yeah, I was very intrigued by what the Genesis offered. I remember, basically, I'd said that probably like $89. It was a Saturday morning, and I just got through watching cartoons, and my dad's like, "Hey, how much money do you have for that Super Nintendo?" Because that was the one I had claimed that I was going to get. And I was like, like $90, and he's like, "Why don't we just go get it?" And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go to Toys R Us and grab it." So I remember going to Toys R Us and debating like the whole way there. Am I going to stick with my original plan, or am I going to go with the Genesis? And ultimately, I decided that I knew how much I loved Super Mario World from playing it at my buddy's house on his birthday, which is what inspired all this. And I was like, I can't not get the Super Nintendo. And I'm very thankful that I made that choice.
Now, can you remember that stacked the games you had, that collection for NES? Can you remember that stack that you had for Super Nintendo? I mean, what was the collection? What were some of the games in that young collection you had?
Okay, so the NES, I had a very small collection. I might have had 5 games that I got in 2 years because my dad was a pastor. He knows what he made, but it probably wasn't much. So I only got games that feels like a really big deal. So kids that had like 8, 9, 10 plus Nintendo games. It always blew my mind because I did not have them. So I had Mario Duck Hunt. A couple months later, I think I talked to my parents into getting me Skate or Die, which was a mistake. I should have got something else. And then I got Batman. And then I got Super Mario 3. I got because my dad was a pastor and probably bought it at the Christian bookstore or wherever. And then I got Ninja Turtles from my sister, which I kept for about a day before I was like, I can't pretend I like this. It's too hard. You got rollerblades. I should have got another game. I don't know why I didn't.
So yeah, you got a little diversity in that collection, though. Some diverse.
Yeah, Batman,
Mario,
and Super Mario 3 were probably the best two games I had, for sure.
And then what was the Super Nintendo stack? What was that collection?
So the Super Nintendo stack was Super Mario World, Super Scoop 6. I was a huge Macaulay Culkin fan as a kid, so I got Home Alone 2. I got Super Star Wars. For some reason, I asked for Troy in football, probably because my friend down the street had it. I don't know why I didn't ask for something like Super Metroid. I don't know. And then I think I got NBA Live 95. I got a used copy of Street Fighter 2. I traded some kid Home Alone 2 and got F-Zero, which I loved. And then he was like, hey, man, my brother says he doesn't like Home Alone. So, my brother said he wants his F-Zero back. So here I have this hockey game. Why don't you take that? So he gave me Hit the Ice, which was actually pretty fun. I would rather have had my Home Alone back, but he, quote-unquote, claimed he couldn't find it. I probably got had. But, and then I got NBA Live 95, which I may have just mentioned. And then I think that was it for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, F-Zero was such a good early release. It really showed off the graphics.
Yeah. I remember two more. I got NHL 93 and Stanley Cup because I'm a huge hockey fan.
Right. Not bad. So, did you ever get a Genesis, or not? Not so you're basically like us now in your 30s.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not until I was in my 30s. And then I actually sold all of my Genesis stuff about 2 years ago to help pay for an NES Sharp that my buddy had that he was going to bring what he paid for it.
For a what now? An NES
So
Sharp? The TV?
Like that? Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that has the NES built into it. It has the NES built into a CRT. Is that what that is?
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, cool. Those are very rare.
I honestly don't know the rarity, but I don't think there's many of them.
And it's all in one piece. It's not any of the. It's like the legs on the bottom broken. Everything's there.
So mine has 3 out of 4 legs. Well, it actually has 4 legs, but one of them is definitely repaired, so it looks kind of shoddy. But you know.
Oh, that's still cool though. Yeah, that's definitely. I think those go for somewhere from 500 to 1,000. At least when I was looking at the prices of those.
Yeah. I paid slightly less than that, but I got a good price because my buddy Todd, he hooked me up. So I'd give him all the credit.
Nice. Do you have anything like any sign-related Nintendo stuff? Any store display stuff, or you found any of that in the wild?
So I never have. Unfortunately, I would have loved to. And if I had found any of it, it would have probably been too expensive where I couldn't justify getting it. If I was single, I would have all that crap. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter how I had. If I had to eat ramen noodles every night, I would probably just be living in a big house with Nintendo stuff. But the coolest thing I've got was right when the Switch came out. I remember waking up one morning, and I don't remember the guy, but he was like, hey, I just found a Wii kiosk out behind my GameStop. Everybody needs to be checking their GameStops. So we went to go get some groceries from this GameStop, and I was like, hey, do you mind if we pop in here real fast? So I walked in and I was like, "Hey, you guys, what happened to getting rid of your Wii?" He was like, "That one over there?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's gone." And the TV was all bashed in. I guess they broke the TV as, I don't know. I guess that was what they were quote unquote required to do. So I brought it home and found a TV that would work for it. But it was missing the bezel on the front. I think I'm saying that word correctly. And I remember I searched for like days other places to see if anybody had thrown away one or if they had one I could piece together. And basically one night, I rode by this GameStop and I could see the Wii U kiosk in the front. And then I rode by it again the next day, like in the morning for some reason, to see if they happened to throw it out. And I just walked in and I asked the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, we're actually getting rid of it today." And I was like, "You can't have the bezel off of it?" And he's like, I guess not. And I basically forced my way into the back of the GameStop, really without asking permission. Took him down and just took it right off. I was like, "Thanks, see you later." He's like, "Okay." He seemed so shocked by it. I don't know, but I got it.
That's awesome.
That is great. It's funny you're opening in this video that's playing now. You're opening the Super Mario cereal. I literally just last night on my own solo stream, I did a video special called Serial Killers. It was CEREAL, and I did all the classic like cereal commercials, and one of them was the Nintendo cereal. They had some crazy.
Yeah.
They had a Gremlins cereal, an ET cereal. They all had commercials too. C-3POs for like a Star Wars.
Did you get
cereal.
Mr. T in there?
Oh yeah. I gotta send you a link so you can see some of those. But I put them. It was like 15 minutes of cereal commercials I put together for my people on stream. But it was fun.
That's
so
awesome.
I loved it. I love that this video is playing right now. It just made me think of editing all that the other day. So now tell me about, are you a convention guy? You know, back before the pandemic, were you hitting up conventions as a collector?
So I would love to hit up conventions, but it just isn't in the works for me. And the only reason I'm able to go to the one convention I get to go to a year is because it's in my hometown. But yeah, it's just two small kids, man. It's really hard for me to get away. My family really depends on me to be around, so it doesn't seem like it would be able to go to one here and there, but in my household, for some reason, it is. So we'll just leave it at that. But I do get to go mostly because it's in my hometown. So, but
That's
honestly,
awesome.
like I don't spend a ton of money on video games anyway. To be honest, even though I have a decent collection, I get a lot of it buying and selling like most people do. So I'll buy a lot, and then I'll keep a few things out of it, and I'll sell everything for pretty much what I paid for it, or maybe a little bit more just to make a little bit of money off of it. But my collecting has really slowed down probably like the last 6 months.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like I went from retro games to getting everything I wanted with the consoles and the carts, getting into toys and stuff. And I'm kind of at the point where I'm kind of drawing that line in the sand, saying I filled up my game room, so I'm going to really slow down now. And then, of course, they had to re-release the real Ghostbusters line the other week, so I had to pick that up. And then it's like I'm backtracking on what I told myself. I don't know if you know about
Yeah,
that.
I want to get those for my son. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
I pick those up for my son. I'm sure they're nice. I'm sure everyone's got them and selling them on eBay for twice as much.
And just to talk to chat for a second. So, guys, we do have Jay on the line from NES Addicts. So, put your questions in the chat now. Brady's going to keep an eye on all your questions. And when we finish the interview, I'm going to turn it over to Brady, and he's going to ask you guys, he's going to ask the questions to Jay. So keep those questions coming. Yeah, Jameson, we have Jay on the line right now, if you're wondering, from NES Addict. So now going forward in the future, Jay, with your channel, what do you hope to what is some of the content that maybe you haven't made yet that you're looking to make in the future, or what are some of your plans?
So right now, I just released a video tonight. I have a buddy, Retro Rick. You guys probably know him. he just did like a big move. He moved homes, and everybody's been really interested in his game room and how he's setting it up. He's getting a lot of questions on like, what should I do if I have like a small space? And he's like, man, Jay's like the perfect person to ask for this. So he hit me up and he was like, hey man, like you need to do this series on like how to create a game room in a small space, because like you basically have a game room in a closet. So I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm down to do that. And I've actually been wanting to repaint some stuff in my game room. So last weekend I hauled everything out of there. I kind of fixed up some walls, patched some holes, because I had taken all my like racks down where I hung my clothes in there when I first put this stuff in there. So I patched some holes, painted over it, and I'm basically just going to show piece by piece how I put everything back in there, and just kind of like showcase what you can kind of do in a small space if you're creative, and that you can make a game room. And you know, I mean, that room is like 4 by 9, I think, 4 by 10 maybe. It's really small. So that's a series that's going to be like 3, maybe 4 parts. I haven't edited it all yet, so I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. I'm guessing probably 3 parts. So that's something I'm into now. And then just like, I have a bunch of other oddities that I really want to showcase on the channel. And, you know, I plan on being a lifelong NES collector. I'm sure it's going to take till the day I die to collect stadium events or, you know, something like that. So that's kind of like the future of NES Addict. So more awesomeness, more Nintendo oddities, and then this how to build a game room in a small space or in a closet or however you want to tag it.
That'll be useful, though. I like that you're doing that, because so many people don't have a ton of space. It's not, you know, how big can you make your game room? It's how small can you make it, and how can you fit the most stuff in the smallest space? Because, like you said, a lot of people don't have that square footage. A lot of people don't have basements. I'm in Florida, so we don't have basements here. We don't have basements here. My guest room. I had to turn my guest room in my house into the game room, because, you know, basements are usually perfect to have a game room, but when you don't, you got to think of other things: closets, guest room.
Everybody down in the southeast with no tornadoes.
Exactly.
We don't have those basements. Yeah, and I made the 3-bedroom home, and then having 2 kids, so all my rooms are full. I don't have a guest room, so I just had to get creative.
Right. That's smart, though. Now, are you into toys, action figures, or just specifically like Nintendo related merch?
No, yeah, I'm super into action figures, but I'm kind of a purist, so I only want like it to be like original 80s, early 90s stuff. I was born in 81, so like 80s is my jam. Very early 90s, like some of the X-Men figures I think are cool. So I kind of, you know, stick with the original OG stuff. But I have Ninja Turtles. I got really lucky a couple years ago and found about 3 bags of G.I. Joes. And I've thought about doing like a side series called like NES Addict 80s edition or something like that, just toy edition or something, where I show off some of those toys. But yeah, I've got some. I used to have a huge Transformers collection. I had since been sold it all off because I didn't think I was going to care about it anymore. And I used to have a huge Ninja Turtle collection, and they were all mint on card. But I got rid of all those too, so I instantly regret all of that. Thanks for reminding me.
I'm right there with you with getting the originals. I mean, you know, the stuff that I collected over the past couple of years is Turtles, the early Playmates Turtles, the original series, you know, Thundercats, He-Man, original series, real Ghostbusters, some Star Wars toys, and yeah, X-Men, Toy Biz were great. Like you said, early 90s, I love those too. This room we're looking at now, is this one of your kids' rooms that you set up like this?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's my son's room, and I probably spent all my day taking everything out of his room to recreate my quote-unquote like 80s looking bedroom. Yeah, that's my son's room.
Oh, that's awesome though. Does he have an appreciation for like the bed setup? So that's the bed he sleeps in like that with the vintage Super Mario comforter?
Yeah, but he doesn't sleep on that. He has like a dinosaur comforter
Oh, okay. So you set it up just for
yeah.
Yeah, you set it up just for the
video. Yeah.
I see. I see. I like what I see there. I see a Bucky O'Hare. I see some vintage Kenner Star Wars. That's the same stuff I got in my collection. Nice.
No, but I have like little bits and pieces. I have a decent amount of G.I. Joe and Turtles now, though.
Right, and you got that Super Mario wooden chest, which is sweet.
Yeah. When I first started making those videos, I kind of introduced each piece by doing like a skit. But I kind of got over the skit part, and I was like, man, there's got to be a better way to just introduce this stuff. Let's just jump into it instead of like doing all this stuff where I'm probably losing people with my horrible acting.
That's cool, though. I mean, that room is pure nostalgia. I mean, I'm sure a lot of your viewers that takes them back to their own childhood room. That's cool how you set that up.
Yeah, and that was kind of my goal, you know. I just like nostalgia is kind of what drives me, and I'm super influenced by NES Complex. My buddy Chris, he makes really quality stuff though, so it's hard to live up to that.
Right. He's been on Pixel Game Squad a lot, right? NES Complex.
Yeah, I got to do one video with him when he came over here, and like that was like a dream come true. But that and being on Pixel Game Squad's video was like. It was like the top of the pinnacle.
You know what I remember NES Complex doing? He did a video talking about the NES library, and he like laid out all the carts. I don't know if you remember this. He laid out all the carts on the floor, and it made just kind of like a wall of NES carts. You remember that video he did?
Oh yeah. I always wondered, like, man, like you took so much time to lay all those things out. He did tons of them. I don't even know how he had room to. I would have loved to have seen what that actually looked like in like his living room or wherever he did that.
I know. That was an awesome shot he did. And I know he had a special too about making the cases for the NES games, and he was showing how to do the artwork and stuff.
Yeah, he was really into those custom cases, which are really nice, but man, it takes up extra space to have those cases, but they are really, really good looking.
Yeah, exactly. It doubles the shelf size if you were to put them all out in there. But he's always very funny. So when he's with Aaron and Ricky, he's always funny.
Yeah, you guys should check out the video me and him did. We did an oddities video going back to school, like supplies, and it wasn't how I normally film them, but it actually turned out really awesome after we edited it. So it was really cool. Great to be able to do a video with him for sure.
Oh, for sure. Nice. And have you seen, I'm sure you've seen, obviously, what Aaron did with his outside arcade. He did a really nice job with that. He redid that whole, he had that outdoor game room collection spot, but then he redid it. And
yeah, I think it was filled with mold, so he had to.
Right. I remember the video he had remodeling it, and like a rat came out of the ceiling when they were demoing it. You remember that?
Yeah, that was awesome.
But it came out real nice. I like what he did with it.
Yeah, I think he's kind of blessed with where he lives to be able to store things outside. Being in San Diego. I don't know about Florida, but we have so much humidity. I'm scared to leave. I was scared that we have a nice shed, but I was scared to turn it into a game room, and I didn't want it to be outside.
Oh, trust me, Florida is like the hell of humidity. So I totally know what you're saying. The humidity here is terrible in the summer.
You're right in between us. I'm PA, Ryan's Florida, and you're there in South Carolina.
Yep, right in between. What part of PA?
Northwestern. About an hour north of Pittsburgh.
Okay, I'm a huge Penguins fan. That's the only reason I asked.
Yeah, there you go.
What part of PA isn't James AVGN in PA somewhere?
I think he's down towards Philly.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's either in Philly or New Jersey. I don't remember which one. No, I'm pretty sure he went to school in Philly.
Right. Now, Jay, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was gonna say he does some old videos where he shows like him making videos with his friends, and I was always got a kick out of this one kid had a Pigment shirt on in one of those videos.
Oh yeah. Now let's go back to before the pandemic. Where were you? Where were you finding most of the stuff in your collection? Were you an eBay guy? Were you a flea market guy? A garage sale? Like where were you hitting up? Even game stores? What were you hitting up to find your stuff?
So some yard sales. There's a website that I would use called Yard Sales Search, and I would just like kind of key search those, and then like type in like video games, retro games, and you could kind of like people would put on their brief description of like what they had. So I found a few things that way. But the biggest cash cow I have is like there's this gift store about 10 minutes from my house called Miracle Hill. It's kind of like a Goodwill type thing. And I just made friends with the people in the back that like bought all the stuff as it came through. And there was this one dude, he was amazing. His name was Hunter. And he would just hold stuff on me. He wouldn't even put it out. And I would check like once, twice a week, and he'd be like, yeah, I got something. Or, you know, it's like, I'd do like weeks and he wouldn't have anything. And then all of a sudden he would just have something incredible that made it all worth all those weeks where he didn't have anything. But he finally quit that job. And then there was another guy named Zach. He kind of hooked me up, but not quite as good. I was still getting some stuff from him too. But that was when I was going back to school, so I wasn't working as much. So now that I've been working more, I really haven't went anywhere, to be honest. But my local video game store, it's called the Video Game Cavern. I'm really, really good friends with the owners there, and they give me pretty good deals on stuff and try to help me out when they can. And so that's kind of just our local mom and pop shop is kind of just where I go now.
That's definitely good having a hookup with a game store owner. I mean, so they give you like first dibs when stuff comes in. They give you a call.
Yeah, I get dibs a lot, and you know, I mean, not a lot. I mean, like there's other people in the area that are big collectors that it's really who's got the money at the moment. But you know, if they know I'm interested in something, they're really good about like letting me pay it off slowly, or you know, holding it for me or whatever. But there's about 4 or 5 serious collectors in my area that they kind of work with all of us, and we kind of all work with each other, so everybody gets something here and there.
Right, spread it around.
Yep.
How about like as far as other stuff you collect, like what's, you know, I talk to a lot of collectors that are into retro games. They're into like horror movies, or what's some other stuff that maybe, or they're into vinyl records, or what is select that are maybe you don't deal with on the channel, or anything other than video gaming?
So I used to collect Blink-182 memorabilia. I was a huge Blink-182 fan, so I have a lot of cool stuff from them that I got when they were putting out their music.
Wow, I want to hear about that, because I'm an old school Blink fan too, especially like Cheshire Cat, Dude Ranch, Enema of the State. So what do you got?
So like the coolest thing I have from them is there was a Sam Goody in our mall right when Take Off Your Pants and Jacket came out, and they had this big stand up, and I like begged these people for it, and the girl's like, look, I promise you your name is on it. I'll call you as soon as we're done with it. And one day she called me and she goes, hey, you want that stand? Come get it. And I did. It's amazing. I still have it to this day. It's awesome. So I have that. I have a yellow Texas Cat yellow Tom DeLonge Fender Stratocaster, and I have like a ton of old magazines that they made the cover of, almost all the old APs. And
oh wow! So you have, because I'm a guitarist too. So you have the Mexican Stratocaster with the Tom DeLonge with the humbucker. It's got the what's that Duncan humbucker in it called? The Invader.
Seymour Duncan. Yeah, I think it's the Invader. Yep.
Oh, nice. You got the yellow one.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm still dying to get the what do you call it? The surf green one.
Seafoam green. Yeah.
Yeah, dying to get one of those still, but they're like so expensive now.
Yeah, I got mine for like $350, or $400, like 2002 maybe, like right when Boxcar Racer came out. And dude, that guitar goes for $1,000 on eBay now. It's in really good shape.
I know it is insane because it's a Mexican Strat and it's going for American Strat prices now.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know.
How's the paint holding up on that? Because every time I see one on eBay, it's got like paint cracks or something in it, or chips. Is the paint good on there still?
So mine is, because I'm not a great guitar player, and it was like something that I was trying to do when I was younger, but I never really developed the talent for it. So honestly and sadly, has just sat on the guitar stand more or less for like the past 15 years, which I know is kind of sad, but it's kept it in really nice shape.
That's still a cool display piece, though. And I remember those were hot at the time. Those were just like, those were one of the guitars that people wanted because it was such a, you know, and I know we're getting off task, but who cares? It's a cool topic, Blink-182 stuff. It's one of those things at the time, you didn't see a guitar that customized, you know, the single humbucker pick guard. You didn't see that much at that time. That was ahead of its time, him putting out that signature guitar.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I liked the fact that they had the really fun colors. You know, it just kind of like that pop punk scene. It just really fit in with that whole scene. They had like a really clean looking body to it. It was like a good looking guitar.
For sure. And to let people know, like in chat, kind of where we're coming from with this, usually you would find a Fender Stratocaster, okay? It would have 3 pickups in it. It would have 3 knobs on it. Okay, so like a guy like Tom DeLonge from Blink, he wanted something more stripped down. So what he did was, instead of having 3 pickups, instead of having 3 knobs on it, he simplified it. So he cut it down to just 1 humbucker and 1 volume knob. That's it. So the rest of the guitar, the whole pick guard was just the 1 pickup sitting in there. And that was just kind of ahead of its time for what he was thinking then, because that's specifically to his needs. And that guitar sold really well. So just to give you guys a little background on why that guitar that Tom played from Blink was really interesting. That you collect Blink stuff. Do you like Newfound Glory, some of their old stuff at all?
Yeah, Newfound Glory. I like their earlier stuff. I saw they're going on tour with Simple Plan. Well, maybe not now because of the pandemic. But they were supposed to. But yeah, I was into all that stuff, like Taking Back Sunday, Brand New.
Oh yeah, same here.
Anything Blink-182 touched. Boxcar Racer, Plus 44.
That's where I was at with the pop punk stuff too. I caught Newfound Glory like 2 years ago. They played the House of Blues Orlando, and they did they played their first 2 records in full, or their first major release. They played their self-titled record and then Sticks and Stones live in full. Yeah, so I was super happy with that. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, that first one's specifically my favorite. I remember going into Hot Topic, and this was when I was first learning about punk. So a lot of the reasons why I picked up certain CDs was basically based on the cover alone. You know, and then they had those little headphones in there, which you could kind of get a little playthrough, and I was like, oh, this is great. So then I picked up that, and I picked up Saves the Day Being Cool, which is an amazing album.
Oh, that is too. Yeah, I love. I think my favorite of there. I love that album, but I think "Stay What You Are" is probably my favorite. Saves the Day. You know that one too?
Yeah, those are like 1A and 1B for me. I probably any given day I'd probably give you a different answer which one's my favorite, but I like them both a lot.
And like Taking Back Sunday, I loved everything up until I liked Louder Now, like from the beginning, from their first 3, and then something after Louder Now, they got rid of that rhythm guitarist. I don't know why they did that, but I didn't like their stuff as much when they got rid of that one guitarist.
Was it John Nolan, the one they got rid of?
I think so. And then it just I didn't like their albums as much.
Yeah, and I think Adam Lazara, his streak didn't seem quite the same as he did on that first record. That first one was amazing. Tell all your friends.
Yeah, and then Where You Want to Be was good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing them live when Victory Records was like huge, and they were just like making tons of money. The label they were on. Yeah, then they really had a big hit with Make Damn Sure. I think that was on Louder Now. But yeah, those are the things I was listening to, man.
That's funny. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 35.
Okay, so you're just a few years younger than I am, yeah. Okay, that's cool. So we were probably, right in that little same scene then.
Exactly. And that's why it was funny. I remember commenting on when you're seeing that Get Up Kids show. I would have killed to see them play 10 minutes live. They didn't play that?
Dude, yeah. They played it.
They must have started with it then. Is that what they did?
I think so.
But another good band for sure.
Absolutely.
Now, where do you like looking forward? I know this is kind of like maybe a cheesy question, but let's say like 5 years from now, just where do you hope to be at with the channel? Where do you hope to, do you hope to still be doing it? Just kind of looking ahead. What do you think in 5 years down the road for the channel?
I don't know. I mean, I've considered like bowing out after 2020. To be honest with you, like kind of just like getting everything I want to get out this year, and just being done. But the creative side of me is like, no, I'm gonna come up with something even after I do all that, and like want to keep going. But I'm 38. I'm gonna be 39 in July, and
July what?
I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing if I'm going to be able to, like, realistically do this past 40 as my kids are getting older. And they're going to be starting sports and different things, I'm sure, at some point. And queens come spend the night. They're still young. They're like 6 and 4. So it can still be a little bit selfish and do what I kind of want, while they're in bed. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what the future holds. I could see myself doing another year or two, and I don't know. That's kind of my cheesy answer for now. I don't know.
No, that's fine. I hear you, because looking at it, just live in the present. You don't know what tomorrow's gonna. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Just enjoy it for now while you're doing it. Be in the moment with it. Do you hope to pass on? Do you hope to pass on the collection to your kids?
Yeah, I mean, if they want it, I think that would be really cool if they got into it. I've tried to, like, my daughter can beat the first level of Double Dragon completely on her own. She thinks I thought that was kind of cool. So they're exposed to it. They know what it is. But kids are just different this day, man. It's so funny, like, how hard it is for my kids to figure out how to use a D-pad. And, like, I feel like we just picked them up and just knew what to do. Like, we just knew. The same way they know how to scroll through an iPhone, we knew how to use a D-pad. I don't understand how, but it's like my kids just want to watch YouTube. They just want to, they don't care about video games yet. Maybe they will one day, but
right. And they might want to, let's say the kids that are into Switch right now, Jay, they might want to know one day. Well, what came before this, though? They might want to know one day what was the precursor to this system, to these games. What was Mario like? Yeah. And once they play that and see how simplified it is, but still fun it is, they might get into it from seeing that.
They totally could, and we have 2 Switches in our house. So I bought one initially from a guy that was selling it, and I randomly won one off a Facebook group. And my son's played that one a few times, but it hasn't, like, he never asked to use it. So, but I'm hoping when he gets a little older, he'll kind of get into it. So I think that'll be a lot of fun to, like, play games with him, but right now it's not on their radar, sadly.
And I guess just one of the last questions I'd have for you, what kind of modern games, what modern systems are you playing right now? What are some games that are, new gen that they've really caught your eye or you've really enjoyed?
So I was really into the Halo series for a while, up until about Halo 4, so I was really into Xbox cards and Xbox 360. I have an Xbox One. I've only owned one game for it, like NHL 2018 or something, which I've since traded to get more NES games. I do not own the PS, whatever number they're on now. And so it's basically just a Switch. And the most modern games I've played on the Switch are like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, which is like mind-boggling how anyone can finish that game because my attention span is so short. And but mostly just like retro-inspired games on like the Switch library, like The Messenger. There's a game called Dallas and Atonement or something like that. I may be pronouncing that wrong. I just downloaded a game called Whipsy, which is like a Kirby ripoff a few weeks ago. So I still find myself playing like retro-inspired stuff, but stuff that's made recently.
Right. Well, those are some good games, though. You know where you're at, too, with the Switch. I got it not so long ago, maybe a month or two ago, and I just have a handful. I got, like, DKC, Tropical Freeze, Super Mario Odyssey. I think I have, what else do I have on there? But it's really, like, I just bought a handful, because it's not cheap. I mean, it's a $300 system, when a lot of systems are bundling for $200 right now with the game. And then the games stay at $50. I mean, Nintendo, I love Nintendo, but they don't give you a deal. So when you get them, you're paying $300 for the system. You got to get the Pro controller, at least I needed that. And then by the time you get 2 games, you're almost at $500. It is not a bargain.
My advice to you would be check out their eShop about once a week. Because I got like the Castlevania collection for maybe like $9, $10. Contra collection for like $9, $10. I got a game called Adventure Kid, like $1.99. It's like a Mega Man clone. I got the Messenger for like $17.99. So like I don't have physical copies of any of these things, which I understand the scare is maybe if the server ever goes down, you won't have those anymore. But you can, like I think I bought that Whipsy game for $1.99 or something. So you can find cheap stuff on the eShop, but if you're wanting to have the hard copy to set on your shelf, it's going to cost you a lot more.
Right. Yeah, physical is always going to stay at that same price. Now, Jay, this is about the time in the interview. I'm going to throw it to Brady. He's going to ask you any questions our users in chat have had for you. So, Brady, take it over. Hey, Brady, still there?
Yeah.
So I'm throwing it over to you for the chat questions.
Well, we actually only just got one.
Okay.
And it just came from Ron Mower.
Ron Mower.
Yeah. We interviewed him last weekend. Hey, he wants to know what ECW means.
What ECW means. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's Eastern Coast Wrestling or East Coast Wrestling. I'm guessing that's what it is. It's wrestling. I know that.
It's wrestling.
Well, Jay, listen. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You got an awesome collection. We love your passion for your channel, and whether you continue to do it or you stop sometime in the near future, I think you got great content. It's clear you're working with some great people. We're gonna get this interview uploaded tomorrow, separate interview. We're gonna put a link to your channel in the description. We're gonna try to spread the word. Right now, we're gonna get as many of our viewers as sub-view as we can. And thank you so much for your time, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on. It gave me something to do. On those Friday where I had zero plans. It was a pleasure talking to you, man.
Dude, it was awesome having you.
Jay. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, guys, so much.
Stay in touch and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Absolutely. You guys, too, stay safe out there.
Yeah, much appreciated, man. Thank you.
All right, later, man.
Absolutely.
Take care.
See you guys.